Good morning and welcome back to Keeping It Real with Kylie. I'm your host, Kylie Bowman. On today's topic, we will be discussing the likelihood that Dallas Cowboys will make it to the Super Bowl this season. Coming back from their 6-10 record last season, the Cowboys were off to a great 5-1 start. I have with me here Alex Altman and Mason Choate. Alex, what are your thoughts on where the team will be at the end of this season?
Well, I see this team going pretty deep. They have the talent to make a run at the Super Bowl. They're currently sitting at 5-1, like you said. Their only loss was a close loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. And since then, they haven't lost a game, and they've looked really good in all 5 games they've played. They're on a bye week now, and they'll go down the stretch of the season. But no, I think they'll be there at the end right at the top of the conversation towards the end of the season.
Alex, I think that, the biggest reason they've been so successful this year is on the defensive side of the ball. You look at some players they brought in, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs. They re-signed DeMarcus Lawrence. But the biggest reason has been Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator. He was the D coordinator for the Seahawks during their Legion of Boom days. Then he goes and takes the Falcons to a Super Bowl. Now he's the D coordinator at Dallas in year 2, and you can really see the impact that he's making because that defense is playing almost as good as any defense in the NFL right now.
And on the other hand, the offense. Alex, what have you seen from the offense this season?
Well, I see a quarterback that's finally gotten back into his own after a tough injury in Dak Prescott. He's gotten through this injury and acted like nothing's ever happened. He's been better than he's ever been. He's throwing for over 300 yards a game, and he's playing with confidence, which is a big deal. And then you have Ezekiel Elliott, and he had a great rookie season and then kind of sputtered off for the last few years, but it seems like he's back. He's running for yards, and he's looking really well, and their offense is putting up points, and that's huge. When you get in close games and you need a score and you got 2 minutes on the clock, that's an offense that many people would bet on to go down the field and win the game.
Alex, I think if you look at successful offenses around the NFL, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, you look at the San Francisco 49ers the year they went to the Super Bowl, you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year, one of the most common pieces is an elite tight end. And you look at Dallas, and they have Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin, 2 guys who have been really good so far this year. I'm a big fan of Dalton Schultz, and that's been one thing Dallas has missed is a great tight end. You know the receivers, you know CeeDee Lamb, you know Amari Cooper. They'll get Gallup back soon enough. But to have a tight end who is almost a safety blanket for Dak Prescott, that has been what has really helped them, especially in the pass game, but also to open up the run game because they're great blockers as well.
Absolutely, and Dallas hasn't seen anything like that since Jason Witten 5 years ago. So
Exactly.
It's been really big for them to be able to have a tight end that they can rely on to catch a ball on a 3rd and 5 when you need it.
And if they just keep that offensive line healthy, that offensive line that was talked about so much when they had all those guys, if they can get Lyle Collins healthy, if they can keep Tyron Smith healthy, this is a team that can make a deep run, as you mentioned earlier.
And that's all the time we have left on our show, Keeping It Real with Kylie. I'm your host, Kylie Bowman. Thank you, Alex Altman and Mason Choate, for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.